This training video will show how to use the picture-in-picture or PIP capability of the video switcher. We're looking at this area, zooming in picture-in-picture. You can see the buttons have preset windows where the picture inside the picture would appear. But what we're going to use is a picture that's in the center at the bottom that we've preset in the software. So to begin with, when we first show up, we want to take a quick look and see if the software center picture is working or not. So I'm going to turn this on by just pushing this PIP button on, and then we'll take a look at the monitor. You can see that the monitor shows that the window, this is what the viewer would see, and this is set up to show whatever's in the computer and the Comp4 window. So that's in the center where we want it, so we don't have to do anything else. As I push the button on the video switcher on or off, here I'll push it off. The PIP button goes away. I also bumped the auto switch, so put it back on the open view here. But when I turn it on, PIP coming on, there we can see it appear. PIP coming off. So that's how that works. So I'm going to show three things on this video. One is how to use PIP during hymns. The second thing is how to use it during liturgist, where we're looking at either scripture or responsive reading. And then I'll go into what if the window doesn't show up in the center, and how can we reset that in the software. So first we'll take a look at the hymns, because that's how we're normally using this. So I'll switch to a Creek 5 view of the congregation, and I'll push the button. I'll push the PIP button. I want to see that red light come on, and then if I go to the, as we saw before, if I go to the view, this is what the audience is going to see. Now I want to have so that I'll have my slide in there, I want to be set up, and this is where the PIP actually comes in the checklist. I want to be set up in slideshow mode. So I'll go ahead and do that offline. I'm set up in slideshow mode, where I'm looking at presenter view on the right-hand monitor, and I'm looking at the audience view on computer 4. And the way this would work is, so the liturgist or the pastor is speaking. We've got the hymn next, and it's a little bit different. We want to, instead of going to Vivian on Lake 4, for example, watching and listening to the piano introduction, for the PIP, it's better to start with Creek 5, and I'll just switch to an auto switch here and use that for our piano introduction, because if we use Creek 4 and then switch to 5 to show the audience, we'll lose the PIP. Anytime we do a camera switch, we lose the PIP. So here's where we do our piano introduction, showing the audience. Then when the introduction is just about over, we'll come down to the audio switcher. I'll push the PIP on button, got the red light. Back to the screen. This is my view, the first verse. And when Vivian finishes the intro, then we go to that verse. Now how do we switch? We switch exactly like we did before. So I come down and advance the slide to the second verse, and so on until we get to the end. Once we get to the end, then you can either go back to the pulpit, which will automatically get rid of the pip. See, I did a switch, or you can hit the pip off button. Either way. So now let's take a look at a responsive reading. You can see the difference in the bold and the normal font. So we would normally go back and forth between pulpit view and the wide view, but because these are so short, these lines are so short, I think we just need to make our switch first. If we put the pip on right now, we'll lose and then switch. Here's a switch. We'll lose the pip. So we need to set this view, then bring up the pip, push the button on the video switcher to get the pip in view, and now we can go just do the Challenger's response in this fashion. Here's another case where we've got a prayer of confession, and just like before, we would, because the congregation is going to be doing this, we'll push the pip on button on the video switcher, bring up the window, and we'll use that until we're finished. And we can either do it an auto switch, which is the easiest way to get back to the pulpit view. Just switch, the pip goes off, and you're back on the view. Now we can also do this if this were scripture, where we're not only the pastor or the liturgist is speaking. So we want that up there, but we want it on the pulpit view, and we can do that. We'll go down to the video switcher, put the pip on, come back up, but now the pastor can or the liturgist can read the scripture, the audience can follow, congregation can follow, and we can use it for scripture reading as well. Now let's take a look at the other case where I turn the pip button on, which I'm doing, and now it goes in some other position that I don't want, not in the center. So now I need to make an adjustment in the actual software. And we do that by coming over, and I'm going to restore down to get into, so I can find the ATEM software controller here at the bottom. There it is. So just click it, double click it. Now I've got the software. So our center location is saved in a file. So if I go in the upper left, go to File, click it. I want to restore. Click that. Now here are the files that I have restored. What I want is MPC pip center. So I'll go to this, I'll double click it, I get a new page. Now I go to the bottom right and I click restore. Now I should have it. And I do have the block in the center. This particular slide, the font was not made large enough, but the pip is in the correct position in the center at the bottom. So that's how you access the app. And now that we've got what we want, I can close the app if I want to. And we still have our slideshow here.